Me and my better half have been hitched for 6 sweet years. We're totally smitten with each other and have a plethora of amazing moments we've shared. But let me tell you, things started getting rocky after our first bundle of joy came into our lives. Those sleepless nights and dividing our attention between each other and the kiddo really took a toll on us. Our daily routine of me going to work, coming home to veg out in front of the TV with my wife and then doing it all over again started feeling mundane. My wife is a full-time mom who moved to a new state just to be with me after we exchanged vows. She's a real trooper, but her social life is a bit on the dull side since she doesn't have many friends to confide in. We both cherish our little ones and wouldn't trade them for the world, but they did put a strain on our relationship. In the past year, she's been vocal about needing more TLC from me. I can't deny that things have been a tad less exciting, and with the added pressure from work and raising a child, I may have slacked off in the love department. But make no mistake about it, I'm head over heels for her and wouldn't want anyone else. We've made progress in patching things up, and I'll do whatever it takes to keep the love alive. Last month, out of nowhere, my wife told me that she received a message from an old pal from her childhood. Apparently, this guy had a bit of a flirty streak and sent her a shirtless photo as soon as they reconnected. However, my wife was quick to put him in his place and let him know that she's happily hitched. After a quick apology, they kept things light and simple. When I asked about the guy's name, my wife hesitated and said that I wouldn't be interested in seeing his Facebook profile, claiming that he's quite the looker. I couldn't shake the feeling that something was off, but she brushed it off as harmless and assured me that she's told me about him straight away because nothing will happen. Not wanting to seem like a jealous husband, I gave her the benefit of the doubt and agreed that it was no big deal. Fast forward a few days, she was glued to her phone like it was an appendage. She was messaging someone non-stop, which is pretty rare for her. There were even moments when she'd angle the phone away from me while we were in bed together, and it seemed like she was more invested in the conversation than talking to me. The next day, while we were grabbing a bite, I decided to confront her about my suspicions. I told her that her non-stop texting with this mystery man was getting under my skin. Of course, she brushed it off again and told me not to worry, that they were just two old chums catching up. I asked her if I could check out the messages, but she kept denying, telling me I'd misconstrued them. I didn't take no for an answer, and after repeating the question 5 times, she finally handed me her phone. The content of the conversation broke my heart. It was innocent at first, but then it took a sharp turn to flirting with him, persistently pushing her to take things further. He even asked her if she ever pondered about him marrying her instead of his wife. Instead of responding with flirtatious messages, she simply reminded him that he was married to someone else and had made his choice. However, he would often say things like, "I can stop if you are uncomfortable," after making comments, which seemed like he was trying to manipulate her into continuing the conversation. It's important to note that her actions are not excusable either. After this conversation, they started talking all day long about their lives and sending cute good morning and good night pictures to each other. He initiated it, and she even started making sad faces and expressed how upset she was when he had to stop talking with her for a while because he had to work. I told her that the conversation was going down a dangerous path and that I could see his true intentions even if she thought it was just harmless catching up with a friend. I explained how hurt I was to see her flirting with another man while she's married and asked her to put an end to it. She agreed, acknowledging that things had gone too far. She promised to send him a message explaining that she was 100% committed to her marriage and could no longer talk to him. However, she refused to block him and wanted to remain friends with him on social media. She also warned me not to be alarmed if he wished her a happy birthday next week. After writing the message to him, she showed it to me and sent it off, telling him that they couldn't talk anymore. We celebrated her birthday the following week, and I thought everything was settled. I asked if he had sent her any messages, and she said he had only wished her a happy birthday, But as days went by, I started feeling uneasy again. I asked if she had heard anything from him, and she said no. Another week went by, and my suspicions grew. The bathroom or quickly hiding it when I entered the room. I bring up my concerns to her once more, expressing my gut feeling that something is off. She denies talking to him but mentions that she deleted their messages to avoid any further tension between us. Despite her explanation, I can't shake off the suspicion that she's still in contact with him. The thought of her talking to him keeps me up all night, plagued with negative thoughts. However, I try to convince myself that she wouldn't betray our relationship like that. We were in love, and she often reassured me that she would only leave me if I cheated on her, which was something I would never do. She would also say that she would never cheat on me and that we were meant to be together forever. At around 4 a.m., my paranoia got the better of me, and I went to the living room where she had left her laptop unlocked. I decided to check her social media accounts, and to my surprise, there were no messages between her and the guy, but I noticed that they've been liking each other's pictures frequently since her birthday 2 weeks ago. Suddenly, she walked into the room and asked me what I was doing. I came clean and told her I logged into her accounts because I had a terrible gut feeling, and I also mentioned that I had noticed her hiding her phone whenever I came close. I questioned her about why she was liking all of this guy's pictures. She responded by shouting at me, accusing me of violating her trust and being paranoid for checking her accounts without her knowledge. She dismissed the liking of pictures as harmless and went on to say that I betrayed her by spying on her and that she was unsure if she could trust me again. I apologized and explained that I was afraid of this guy causing harm to our relationship. She requested some time apart and refused my attempts to comfort her by pushing me away. I agreed to give her space and retreated to sleep in the next room alone. The following day was pretty quiet between us. I attempted to initiate a conversation asking her how we could fix things, and while she didn't know what to say, she agreed when I asked her if she still loved me and wanted to work things out. We had a scheduled appointment and we drove there without saying a word. Unfortunately, we received some unexpected bad news during the appointment, and on our way back home, my wife got another piece of bad news. She wouldn't be able to nanny the baby she had been taking care of as the child's mother had lost her job. My wife used to babysit another baby at our home a couple of days a week for some extra cash. At this point, we're still not talking to each other. After arriving home, she says she needs to make a call and leaves me alone with our child while she heads outside. A few minutes later, I decide to follow her, and I overhear her on the phone mentioning that this guy blocked her after receiving her message. I think I hear her say something about not being sure about her feelings. As I move closer to her, she suddenly turns around and is surprised that I was there, possibly because she thinks I overheard something I shouldn't have. She gets angry with me again, saying that I shouldn't have listened. I sat down with her and had a serious talk, letting her know that our marriage was at risk and she had to come clean. She was visibly surprised and afraid, but eventually told me that she did message the guy that morning and revealed that I had logged into her account. She didn't know what I had seen and was shocked when he immediately blocked her in response. According to her, she was planning on sending a follow-up message to the guy asking him not to contact her again and that she wanted to focus on her marriage, but he beat her to it and blocked her before she could do it. When I questioned why she warned him in the first message, she explained that she wasn't thinking clearly and wasn't sure if I had said anything bad to him, so she wanted to end things with him in a mature way. She kept saying she didn't message him again after telling him they couldn't talk anymore weeks ago, but she did agree that the constant liking of each other's pictures was a mistake and that she messed up and wants to make things right. She also mentioned that I misheard her talking about having feelings for him, and that she was only upset about the way he ended things by blocking her. She admitted that she enjoyed the attention he gave her and felt a bit sad that she wasn't getting it anymore, but was also relieved that it was over. She kept repeating that she loves me and acknowledged that she made a huge mistake and she wants to do whatever it takes to make things right, and she wants nothing to do with that guy anymore. After a few days, we were working together to fix things because I still love her, and I thought this was just a friendship that he took too far without realizing what he was doing. But she had moments where she would cry and be lost in thought, and when I asked her about it, she would say it was just because she was upset with herself for letting it happen. The next day, she came clean to me and said that she felt guilty because they had been talking since her birthday, and she lied to me about it repeatedly, which makes her feel terrible. According to her, it all started with innocent conversations about our children, but it gradually became flirtatious. She was clear that she only wanted a friendship, and she convinced herself that it was okay. However, he kept pushing her for more and eventually convinced her to change her passwords and delete all their messages because he claimed that it would only cause problems if I found out. She believed it was the right thing to do, and she lied to me about it multiple times. She admitted that she made a stupid decision and doesn't know why she let him convince her that deleting messages and changing passwords was okay, and didn't think about the consequences. He then sent her shirtless pictures and she replied telling him how hot he looked. He asked if she wanted to see more, but she declined. He also asked for candid pictures, but she only sent a fully clothed selfie. According to her, their last conversation was that night when she realized things were getting out of hand and she became afraid and wanted to end it. When I checked her laptop, she made a big mistake by blaming me and was scared of me finding out. That was the night things got worse and she felt ashamed and convinced herself that if she hid it, it would never hurt me. We had a massive fight and I was so angry that I even considered leaving her for a few days. But she kept begging me to stay and said she knew she messed up completely and it was all her fault, but that she was willing to do whatever it takes to make things right between us. She reassured me that she loves only me and that she never had feelings for him. She admitted that she liked the attention he gave her, but she never intended for things to escalate that far. She was really embarrassed about what she did, and despite me threatening to leave her, she refused to let me go because she loves me and only me. After a lot of back and forth, I finally agreed to work on our relationship with the condition that she needs to be completely honest with me moving forward. As a gesture of good faith, she deleted all of her social media accounts. I trust that she genuinely loves me and wants to make things right. She emphasized that the other guy meant nothing to her and that they were just friends. To ensure my trust, she promised to never be alone with her phone in another room and even encouraged me to search it, which I did. As things started to get better, I couldn't help but feel something wasn't adding up. So I took matters into my own hands and looked through her internet history. I was shocked to see that she had been checking out this guy's Facebook profile for months, several times a week, even before they started talking. I confronted her right away and asked why she never mentioned it. She explained that she forgot about it since she was trying to block out the whole situation, and that she had a silly high school crush on him, which was why she kept looking at his page. She was worried about telling me and making me upset, but she assured me she never initiated contact with him. It was him who reached out to her randomly a month ago. I prodded for more information and asked if she told him anything else that would make me upset, and she said she couldn't recall, but she may have said a few other flirtatious things. She also confessed that she asked him if they had chemistry, which she mentioned on their last day of communication before he blocked her. She explained that she asked because she was curious about his thoughts and intentions, but it didn't mean anything to her. According to her, he responded by saying they did have chemistry. She wasn't pleased with his answer and would have preferred him to say no, as she just wanted a friendship. However, she admitted that a small part of her wanted him to say yes due to her previous crush on him that she hadn't told me about. She felt that his response was immature and she was ready to put an end to everything but didn't know how and was becoming fearful at that point. When I asked her how serious things could have gotten, she first said she didn't know, but then changed her answer and said that it would have lasted for 1, 2 days at most. She admitted that she answered too quickly the first time and wanted to explain. She kept repeating that she wanted it to be over and done with, and that was the most important thing. I feel completely shattered and heartbroken. Their connection came to an end because I discovered their interaction and this guy got scared. I'm unsure if she had actual feelings for him and their relationship finished once he found out and he threw her away like she meant nothing to him, or maybe she really just wanted a secret friendship that went too far, which doesn't make things easier since she knew she was hurting me by lying and secretly talking to him, making me feel paranoid. I'm in a tough spot because I love her, but her actions have left me wondering if she loves me as much. She's been apologizing and saying she screwed up for the past week, promising that she loves me and never loved that other guy. She's even willing to take as long as it takes to earn my trust back, but if I leave her, I'll lose the love of my life and our child, and I can't handle that. At the same time, I'm not sure if I can stay with her either. Although I do trust that she's genuinely remorseful and willing to work on things, I can't shake the feeling that she might not have been completely honest with me about her feelings towards that guy and where things were heading. I have a feeling that this guy was going to keep pushing things with my wife until they became physical, but I'm not sure if she would have let that happen or not. But honestly, even if she did have some sort of feelings for him, I don't know if it really matters at this point if we're trying to work things out. I just feel like I need to know the whole truth even if it's going to hurt us more in the end. After finding out about what was going on, I contacted the guy's wife right away, but I didn't feel like I did the right thing. She simply responded by telling me that she knows her husband is a cheater and that he treats her badly, and she didn't really know what I wanted her to do. They both live about 2,000 miles away from us. My wife has visited her hometown on her own a few times, and even though she says she never wanted to meet him, I don't know if that's true or not, or how serious things were going to get. It's really tough to deal with the fact that she chose to get involved with a married man who is also a moron. She can not just hurt her own marriage, but someone else's too. The biggest struggle I have is trying to understand her thought process and what she was communicating to this guy. Did she genuinely have feelings for him? Was she imagining what a relationship with him would be like? How serious was she about taking things further? Even though she wants to work things out now, it's hard to move forward after all the damage that's been done, and their relationship ended because I found out and he got scared.